everybody, and welcome to the Onward VR Master League Season 13 Challenger Cup. Not quite finals, semifinals. We are replaying the final map of the KFOT versus Hell on Wheels matchup that was played out earlier this week. We will be playing our third map out on Suburbia. And the winner of this matchup will move immediately on to the finals in the Challenger Cup to go up against Notorious. And so we'll have to see what kind of action we get here. I believe it is going to be KFOT starting on defense as they were home, and this is their map pick. Hell on Wheels on offense. And I am curious what we're going to see. If we go and look back at the history between these two teams, obviously now currently tied a map 1-1 in this series, but in the Challenger Cup that happened last weekend, we did have both teams go up against each other for one map, and Hell on Wheels beat KFOT 4-1 on that map. And so I'm curious to see what we get here this afternoon. I think if we're going to be picking favorites, I would lean into Hell on Wheels, being in that they have the upper hand, technically speaking, if you look at the stats. But, KFOT is getting an opportunity here to go up against Hell on Wheels in this map 3 and try and battle back, win this map, and push on into that finals of the Challenger Cup up against Notorious. If you don't know, my name is NightFiree with 2 E's. I will be your host in today's journey through the Challenger Cup semis and finals. I will also be your host in the journey through the round robin that's going to be happening for NA and EU tomorrow and Sunday. Not going to want to miss out on that. That's going to be live over at twitch.tv/VR Master League, and we're going to be doing giveaways on that channel. So, again, be sure to tune in to that action. I know I might be a little quiet. I'll turn myself up here. Apologies for that. Be sure to tune in to the streams on the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Those will be starting at, I believe... Ooh, I have to look at the EU start time. It is 9 a.m. PST. Not too early for the NA side of things, but right on time for the EU side. And so going to be interesting to watch the EU top 8 battle it out starting in, again, at 9 a.m. PST tomorrow. And so you're going to want to catch that action. We have action, though, to dive into in front of us. We have both teams ready in lobby and ready to go. We are ready to go here on the desk, and it is KFOT versus Hell on Wheels. Again, Hell on Wheels on the attack, KFOT on the defense, and we're going to see what kind of action we get here this afternoon between these two on Suburbia. Close quarters combat. Should expect quick, fast action gameplay, especially with NA teams here battling it out. Sort of a patented style within the NA side of things where they really do like to apply quick pressure. And we're seeing very early smokes, pretty effective smokes. A nice smoke up the middle from Samurai that is denying vision out through that back door. It allows Samurai to push forward here and potentially get through that side angle in the window. That's a very dangerous angle to leave open as Seal now is rotating around to check it. K-Fever goes down. Not sure from what do they find Trickster, excuse me. As Samurai now is pushing in. KFOT here defending in their inside objective as they go down. Samurai finds one. Jake picks up another on the edge. And we have to focus on Dida and Nora, who are inside. K-Fever just outside. And we'll be sure to be covering multiple angles as Samurai flies in, finds the kill. Fire comes in as Samurai scoops up another, but not before they go down on the stairs as well. And so the room is empty. K-Fever gets scooped up in the first round for offense for Hell on Wheels. With 4 left alive, they find round number 1 in their hands, and that is certainly a good start for the Hell on Wheels team. On KFOT's map choice, they are really coming out here guns blazing. No pun intended. Samurai Shiba in particular finding a bunch of kills there to kick things off, and, well, a few points away from securing themselves an opportunity to go up against Notorious. Well, I do have to make sure that we have the right stream title. We very well might not. I guess I do apologize. Oh, Yeah, we're good. We actually have the right title. Beautiful. Yeah, looking forward to diving in more to this action. And also, you know, it's kind of interesting because what we're going to have here is that Hell on Wheels are going to come right out of this map into another best of 3. And so, well, I guess either KFOT or Hell on Wheels, whoever does come out victorious here. And so the question becomes, you know, do we end up, you know, is this essentially a map that Hell on Wheels get to use to warm up and come in really ready and prepared, focused and ready to go up against Notorious? It's an interesting question to ask for sure, but we'll see how it all unfolds as we do get back into it. KFOT on the attack. Hell on Wheels on the defense, and we'll see how this KFOT team likes to approach this. It is a heavy playground favor. We do see a trade up through the middle. Chill Goat, Catholic Goat, and Dida go down. I don't see a res opportunity either, so both players headshotting and immediately killed. Meanwhile, Seal flies around burning building. They're going to set up for an outside angle, potentially onto the front stairs of the objective building. Hell on Wheels has stacked all 4 inside, though, and they're very much going to wait for KFOT to push up into this middle house and be a threat. A lot of guesswork coming in here from Age. Looking for anything through those shrubs. They're kind of wondering how their teammate has died here. The sigh. Definitely a lot of stress on these games in particular because the winner of this, again, gets to go up against Notorious. The winner there advances in to the round robin this weekend. Getting an opportunity to compete at that prize pool. Hardware, cash, all on the line. That and obviously the notoriety of being a season champion. Again, more guesswork from Nora there. And they're not finding anything outside. KFOT's really scanning carefully, trying to assess this defensive setup, trying to analyze where they could be positioned. And since they're not seeing anything, they have to sort of predict then that this team has to be stacked up heavily inside this building. And so then you have to start wondering, how do you approach this building? What's the utility use looking like? Samurai's here through the window. They almost get picked up. There they are, shot through the drapes. Steel continues to put down that fire and does catch one. Pono is going to consider looking here as Jake from Skate Farm is not ready. KFOT looking good on the attack as Pono Scat goes down, and suddenly Hell on Wheels is just left with Trickster. They do catch one. He's able to communicate to the team the position here, and so utility does come up, but it's botched utility and ends up flashing Seal instead. I think that might have flashed Trickster. Seal's coming up. Trickster tries to find the shots, but KFOT put together a Marsoc round themselves. We're into an all-out brawl between these two teams, 1-1. A nice push, a reserve. I mean, didn't take the whole time of the map, 3 minutes, but nonetheless, it felt like it was a little bit more slow and methodical, mainly because of the Hell on Wheels defensive setup, allowing the team to push all the way up to the objective building uncontested. Go ahead and tally up the scores here, though I don't have the previous scores from the previous 2 rounds, so I do apologize, but just envision that it's 4-3, 3-4. KFOT Hell on Wheels, and now we're tied up 1-1 here on the final map. Clearly, what we have in store here this afternoon is an aggressive battle on Suburbia, and it's kind of crazy with everything on the line that we are going to get this level of aggression. You know, I was almost expecting maybe both teams to come in a little bit more reserved, but, you know, your play style is your play style. You want to play into your comfort zone, and so Not surprising to see both of these teams really just flinging themselves at their opponents, trying to go all out. Apologies for that little skip on the cam as we do go into the action for round number 3 of map 1. Oh, excuse me, map 3, technically, in this battle. Our first map of the afternoon. We have another series after this, so do be sure to stick around. The winner here will go up against Notorious. And we're getting smokes coming into the objective, an indicator to me that maybe a cap is being considered. K-Fever going to squash that bug as best they can as they do look for that smoke, but it seems to have rolled under the porch maybe, and so isn't going to be able to get scooped up by Fever. Battle inside. Samurai does go down. K-Fot picking up one of Hell on Wheels' major shooters. Samurai picking up multiple kills in rounds 1 and 2. A big denial of an aggressor here for this Marsoc team. Now Ease maybe feeling a little more comfortable getting pressure forward. A little too comfortable as they do get picked up. A lot of suppressive fire now being dumped down as a heavy boat of smokes gets thrown over to the playground. Jake from Skate Farm catches one in the 2-story. That's a big opening as more smokes come in. K-Fever considering swinging on the outside. No dice. They go down. Nora, the last one alive on objective. Hell on Wheels string together a solid attack with Jake picking up some key kills at the end to wrap up round 3. Hell on Wheels. Both the KDs for those with finer eyesight. 5 and 3 for K-Fot Seal, though. Like I said, Samurai Shiba. Oh, they actually disconnected after that death. Now reconnect, so they were 0-0, but they had 3 kills at the start. 5 and 1 from Jake, definitely picking up a nice triple round off this round, and so good shooters there on both sides. And a very quick round, 2.5 minutes. No, 2 minutes, excuse me. Quick shout out to everyone that is tuning in as I do take a gander over at chat. I see some lively discussion. I appreciate everybody that is stopping by and hanging out, enjoying the action here this afternoon. A reminder again that we have games tomorrow live at twitch.tv/VRMasterLeague. We are going to be having HyperX giveaways for NA audiences only. I do apologize. So for the EU showcase that will be happening early in the morning, there probably won't be giveaways because, you know, it's going to be the EU audience. But when we have the NA broadcast later in the afternoon, there will be some HyperX giveaways for the NA audience, so you are going to want to tune into that if you are located in the US, the North American region. And so that's going to be a nice, again, you're not going to want to miss out on that. It's going to be mice, keyboards, headsets, all kinds of different products. And we're going to be giving those away every weekend leading up to the finals this month. So do not miss out on that. Tune in to twitch.tv/VRMasterLeague this weekend. Again, the EU round robin begins at 9 a.m. PST. NA, I believe, is 4 p.m. PST, but I could be wrong on that. I do have to double check my times.
Boys, hold spots. Let's get there.
Hell on Wheels calling out for a tuck in and hold as both Trickster and Jake and Apano stacking up here on Burning Building. We're getting an inside look at the strategy here from inside the building, but we are getting an idea here of the setup as take an eye over on the offensive side of things. Look at this change in pace from K-Fot. I love to see it, and it shows the variety in their strategy It shows that they're playing this game and not just flinging themselves at their opponent. What they're doing is calculated. They're trying to set an aggressive pace early, and now they're pulling back drastically. KFOT trying to anticipate Hell on Wheels, maybe countering with some aggression. But since none's coming, they are now going to advance up to at least the midline. And I do anticipate a little bit more of a slower push here, maybe around the 3-minute timing. And as I say that, Samurai comes flying in on the aggression to go down as they pick up a nice double, and now they're suppressed. They try to find Eej through the shrubs, but Eej savvy enough on that peak as they scoop up the headshot. Down goes Samurai, unresable. No more early aggression, but KFOT at a disadvantage in the 3v4. So it has an opportunity to pick up 1 or 2 here if they do hold that line through the doorway, but they also are defending several different positions here from this house. Nora does peek out, and they are going to identify a Catholic goat. Down they go as Nora scoops up the kill. 3v3 now for KFOT. Trickster tucked in and waiting as Dyna swings wide. They'll find Trickster down in the corner. Hell on Wheels left with just 2 on objective. KFOT still could put this thing together. Pano Scat in a key position. Cannot get tagged by this nade as it does come in. They also are on a big rotation here. Way out in the open as Dyna takes shot. Pano Scat is going to catch them on the reload. Dyna doesn't find their shots as Pano has to duck down and reload. And they're both going to tuck in to cover here as Nora swings on the tight corner. An opportunity for a cap, a nice denial. Pano recognizing that that's a big threat. Now they push up and tuck in onto the ultimate defensive position. Grabbing utility. That flash could be nice, but they're not going to push off it. 3:20 on the clock. Right on time for KFOT's pushing, but Hell on Wheels are down to 1 in a 1v2. Utility coming out on both ends because clearly Pano not sure where this advance could be coming from. They actually have a smoke in front of them. We're not seeing that in the first person view. But there was a smoke on the corner. That's going to dissipate now. Ida could have a clean swing wide of the tank. Interestingly enough, there's not going to be any immediate pressure on Pono's left side, so they actually have quite a lot of freedom of movement here. But yeah, I think Dido is going to end up swinging wide and surprising Pano. Pano's not going to be ready for this, and Dido is going to catch the kill. He's also left alive on the other side, but we are trading Marsoc rounds down here with these aggressive plays on both ends. Clearly both teams locked in and trying to pick up W's. They want to advance on and go up against Notorious a few minutes from now. For those that are just tuning in, this is map 3 of this series. We are, without getting into the details of it, replaying this third map of this series. It was played out earlier, and now we're replaying it here. And so the winner of this map takes the W in this series. Currently, that is tied 1 map apiece. If you just envision the TBDs beneath me are showing that KFOT has won a map and Hell on Wheels have won a map. We are into this map 3 decider. So the winner here does again advance on to go up against Notorious in the finals for the NA Challenger Cup. Winner of that advances into the round robin. Round robin gets you a chance at competing for the cash and hardware prize pool. So gonna be exciting to say the least. Looking forward to getting down to that round robin, down to that final 8. It's been a really kind of crazy season 13. A lot of new teams coming up, a lot of old players, you know, getting into different teams, a lot of team shakeups, and very excited to see how the top 8 of both EU and NA plays out. It's going to be very exciting, and again, you're going to tune in over at twitch.tv/VRMasterLeague for that. Back into the action we go, though, for round number 5. We're all tied up 2-2 apiece here, and while you take a look at some nice grass, you can also take a look at some KDs. Hell on Wheels on the attack, KFOT on the defense. We swap sides, so objectives shifted over to the north, and we'll see how Hell on Wheels side to attack this one. Samurai Shiba's been the tip of the sword, so to speak. The tip of the spear, I guess, is the proper saying. And it has its pluses and minuses. Samurai is going to identify a C4, but they're actually down in a pretty safe space. Pulls out a rotation from K Fever, but they catch another kill in an effort to come out and confirm. K-Fot scoops up Trickster, and Hell on Wheels are down to do. K-Fot are looking good on the defense here as K-Fot swings out and does try to apply pressure onto Jake. Jake tucked into the tight corner, catches Seal, not ready for that push, and a revive coming in. We're into a 3v3. Hell on Wheels have swung this. Pop up from Dida. They're going to scoop up Jake. Still going to be holding from this side. Information should be relayed. Samurai nearly goes down on the cross as Eej takes shots. Nora now aware of the potential threat from that side. They got two focused on objective with another holding a late angle, and I wonder what utility they have left as Nora is waiting here on the corner. Shots come in, and Pano ducks down. No, and onboard Samurai as they try and pop up to catch Nora. Eej is there to defend, and now Nora able to dump rounds down onto Pano's position and ideally deny them the option of pushing forward here as Pano is looking for anything. If they do stay tucked down, they'll actually be able to avoid this. That's a pretty good on-point smoke. It is going to deny Nora some key vision on this objective. However, they do have still the angle all the way down here from Dida, and so they can cover this cross if it does come through from Pano. 3.5 minutes left, so there's a lot of time to work with, and if anything, maybe Pano can catch out some rotations here from this defense. You can see that can't quite see Nora's head, although they did see it pop up over the shrub there. Again, they're just looking for a sliver over the top there. They're going to catch it. Down goes Nora. Eej is up next on the hit list as they suspect them there in the tight corner, but Pano has no utility. Goes for the prone peek and doesn't spot what they're looking for on the corner. Can't see behind a white car, so not going to see anything there on defense. And this rotation, if they pop out from lane 2, could put them into the lane from Dida, who is waiting still way down there on lane 4. But they ultimately do have this cover of the cross, which isn't going to be smoked right now. Dida can see through movement through those shrubs. Pano's not careful pushing forward here. He's just so close to being ID'd on that corner. Oh, they see a sliver, and they go for the shot, but it's a trade between the two. K-Fot take a defensive round. And the pressure is on for Hell on Wheels as K-Fot stare down the barrel of a series win. Hell on Wheels are going to need 2. And what a close round with only one left alive on K-Fot's side to determine that, but nonetheless, a defensive win. Hell on Wheels now do have the chance to defend the same objective. And so we'll have to see how they are going to play out here in these next few rounds. Quick shout out to our sponsors who do support the VR Master League. Those include ProTube VR, VR Cover, Asterion, and Arma, providing us with fantastic jerseys. We do appreciate the support of our sponsors for this season, and We do appreciate their support for what has been now multiple seasons. I mean, we're on season 13 here. ProTube has been around with us since, I think, season 2. A little bit later than that. But nonetheless, really do appreciate their support. Always happy to advocate for their products. ProTube and VR Cover in particular, two great peripheral items that you do have to go check out the sites and pick up hardware. I think we also do have a ProTube discount code, but off the top of my head, I don't remember it, and that's pretty bad of me. So apologies for that. We'll get that info soon. Back into the action we go for round number 6 of map 3. KFOD on the cusp of advancing on to play against Notorious and Hell on Wheels. Oh, a life on the line here, trying to defend. Goat's going to get up on the pottery there, tuck into the tight corner, trying to get an angle so that they can see over slightly over the top of the shrubs. Be able to identify any advance through the center. KFOD are playing a similar style of offense to when they almost lost their offensive push, where they're playing it a much more conservatively here, at least in the first minute and a half, as Eej and Fever has slowly advanced the rest of the team, sitting back and waiting to see if there's any aggression coming in on defense. It would be kind of crazy to throw aggression here on your last line, your potential last life. Tight defense from Hell on Wheels, patiently waiting. Trickster, that point of this defense, very much going to try and catch out the early advances through the mid. Has a slight bit of cover, but ultimately, I would say about half cover, not even 3/4 with this sandbag here. Very vulnerable through the shrubs, elbows, sides. They have some cover, but again, it's not... You might as well be out in the open, sitting on the corner of this, essentially. Oh, and Goat's coming in a little too aggressive off of some flashes. Blind fire from Fever actually finds the kill up through the lane as Goat was trying to advance into a even farther forward position from Trickster. Maybe a little bit over aggression from Hell on Wheels. And a bit of a pause here. Again, KFOD playing this conservatively out the gate, but they do typically push in around the 3-minute mark, and we are seeing at least Nora advance up to the midline. If shots come in, they're going to find a couple of bullets to the head, and now Trickster's cover. There's that full coverage as they do tuck in. The shrubs there do not end up impacting them. Dida trying to push in quick, warns Trickster to load up and throw a flashbang over the top. Now the full pressure is here. The flash is out. Trickster's blinded in the corner. Dida's swinging around the back, and Trickster swings around to find they have to reload as they stand up. Eej finds the kill, and KFOD were nearly wiped clean. Instead, it's Hell on Wheels with 3, KFOD with 4. They have control of the shrub side. What's their push going to be like? As Seal threatens in here from the middle lane. Eej potentially could swing around to that far side. Otherwise, for now, Fever is going to continue to advance forward. He's looking for Jake here. Not going to find anything as long as Jake stays behind that cover. Likely out of ammo. Seal here, pillaging for that drum mag on there. shotgun they have here. How much ammo is in there? Who knows? Eej does find Jake from Skate Farm. Hell on Wheels are down to 2. Pano gets identified by K-Fot. They're not going to see Seal here as they find another one. Eej now dumping rounds to Shiba, and K-Fot find the victory. Celebration from the K-Fot side as they take a 4-2 win on map number 3. They will be the team to advance on, and after a rigorous game here, have to go up against Notorious, who have won out from the Challenger Cup and their semifinals win. And so, as we prep for that, we will round out this first map. We're going to go to a brief intermission from here. Do want to just say, though, that was a great battle from Hell on Wheels, coming out strong with that Marsoc win. From there, though, maybe, I don't know, K-Fot really just stepping up to the challenge and continuing to battle round for round. We come down to a 2v1. Ultimately, it goes K-Fot's way. They end up winning their Marsoc round, and just a really nice job from the K-Fot side to secure their victory here. And I'm excited to see them go up against Notorious next, which I do have to prepare for. So we are going to go to a brief intermission, and when we come back, it is going to be K-Fot versus Notorious. Do not go anywhere. More Onward NA Challenger Cup action coming at you. Welcome back, everybody. I do apologize for the brief interruption. We are not diving into the action just yet for Notorious versus KFOD. If you are tuning in and waiting around, it is going to be another 20 minutes. What we are going to do is leave the stream live, go to an intermission. It'll have a countdown timer, and when that countdown timer is up, we will come back in to the action and be casting Notorious versus KFOD. So do please stick around, get yourself some food, get yourself a snack, get ready for the action that is going to be coming live at you in 20 minutes time. That would be 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. Eastern. Don't miss out on it. Notorious versus KFOD. Winner here advances on to the weekend. welcome back, everybody, to the Onward VRML Season 13 NA Challenger Cup. My name is NightFiree with 2 E's, and today we have a pretty hyped battle that I'm looking forward to getting into here this afternoon. Notorious versus KFOT. KFOT right now very much a dark horse coming up through the Challenger Cup, beating out Hell on Wheels and now going up against Notorious, who have a pretty prominent standing right now above KFOT. If we're looking at the worldwide rankings, Notorious arguably is one of the favorites for this. Cinder and Dark Tidings were the other two potentially, and I guess that's worldwide. But Notorious are very much, the favorite here for what I would say winning the entire Challenger Cup. If we were just to look at them at the start of this Challenger Cup, you'd say, yeah, Notorious is probably the one we're going to see battling up against, someone at the top here. Hell on Wheels certainly would have been in that equation, but instead it is KFOT now that is going to be going up against Notorious, just coming off of a final map 3 victory up against Hell on Wheels. And so very excited to see these two teams duke it out. If we're looking at rank, we're looking at a worldwide ranked 10 versus a worldwide ranked 31st in KFOT. So, even in terms of rating, Notorious definitely carrying the favorite here. And so very excited, again, to see what we get in this battle. And as we do get ready to dive into the action, we do want to take a look at our bans for the afternoon. They're going to give us an insight into what kind of pace we should be expecting here today. Notorious banning Tanker and KFOT banning Downfall. This seems like a ban of strength, strength in that Notorious is banning a strength for KFOT, and KFOT banning Downfall. I think it goes the same way, where Notorious are good on Downfall, but also KFOT, that's not necessarily a map that they want to be playing here in this matchup. This is an indicator to me that Notorious is looking for a little bit more range in their map picks, and KFOT's going to be looking for something like Suburbia. And our map number 1 is going to be Quarantine. And so kind of an interesting choice there. While it certainly isn't the most open range map, I kind of see a lot of tactical purpose in this pick coming in from Notorious. If you really want to dive into it and maybe overanalyze it, which is what I love to do. This map pick, it has range. It allows for Notorious to stay distant from KFOT, look for long range angles, and try and pick them up early. But it also does have the close quarters combat, and maybe there's going to be opportunities where Notorious can kind of test KFOT in those close quarters areas and get a better idea of what they're going up against, so that when it comes to KFOT's map pick, they're a little bit more loose up. While they certainly had the advantage of long range, they still fought close quarters battles, anticipating that KFOT will pick something like Suburbia or Cargo, some sort of close quarters map. Then from there, they can potentially go to something like Abandoned and really extend things out. And so I'm interested to see what we get here from both Notorious and KFOT in map picks and in overall gameplay, as we do have both teams ready and in lobby. Looking at the active rosters for Notorious, we have Wicca Wicca, Llewellyn, General Chiggins, Mythril Marauder, and Captain Soda. And over on KFOT side, we have Nora J, Fever, Dida, Ege, and Seal 54. And I'm just sorting out a element on my side, making sure the teams are aware and ready to go. Take a look at where our first objective of the afternoon is. It's going to be over just in front of our downed plane over there in the courtyard. Was formerly burning building, no longer. And we'll see how KFOT does defend this one out the gate. And again, apologies as I am trying to deal with some
I didn't even look at what OBJ this
elements right now. We'll just be on board for.
burning. I'm anticipating a burning guy. Obviously, red ramp crash. Well, they can't make it to tank ball.
Into the action we go as K Fever goes down to the first kill of the afternoon. We followed Soda all the way up to it on the top of the roof, and now Ease is looking for anything, any sort of head popping up and over on this rooftop here, and they might just identify Soda, but they're not going to get that angle. They can't quite look low enough. And as those shots come out, it's going to give information to General as they do try and turn. General goes down. A nice pickup from Ease. They have control of this north side now, and if anything, it's going to be an element that Captain Soda is going to have to get rid of. And they find another kill, a nice pickup from Ease, looking for a third here in the north if they can, up against Notorious to kick things off. But they've regained the advantage just like that. Are they going to be ready for Wicca on the tight corner is the question. They're looking for it, and they find the headshot. They take some damage. They're going to have to heal, but they pick up a triple on this north side to start things off for them. K-Fought off to the races on defense with a little bit of that aggression. Meanwhile, Mithril rotating over to the south, and Llewellyn up through the middle, curious about those shots and wondering if there's going to be any more aggression onto their position. A long way to go to get to the objective, but admittedly somewhat uncovered one. They can simply run all the way up here, especially with Ease pushed back like that. They have no one really defending this plain divot, and really an opportunity to swing all the way around and ultimately get behind Nora and Dida, who are set up here over in the south. Really, though, no coverage of that plain divot right now, but the threat of Ease is just preventing a push from happening on that side. You know, and Dida's looking here in the north, but yeah, they would be able to see the initial cross, I suppose, down into that space. If they're looking there, Mithril might be able to draw some attention on this side in the south. There really is an opportunity to kind of sneak through this defense if Llewellyn does take it. Interesting push out into the middle here. If anything, they're going to end up having to challenge Seal in the center, and maybe that's the idea. Well, meanwhile, technically running right into what could be a potential defensive angle, but they are going to be able to get up onto this three-story. This is a great position for them to be able to look down into and potentially cover a rotation from Ease, which I think is still not coming through. They're still holding deep into the north. They haven't pushed up to that position where they're going to be able to see any of this movement. Mithril might get an angle right down onto Seal in the middle of rubble. Either way, though, K-Fought off to a very good defensive start.
Under 2 minutes.
Mithril recognizing the time, calling it out to Llewellyn to make sure that they're aware as well. You have to start trying to get up to this objective, and there's so many potential defensive angles that they're clearing now. Mithril's making sure there's no one over in that three-story by that plane wing there, really trying to identify anyone looking down. And interestingly enough, K-Fought don't have any of those angles. They're all really late angles tucked in, waiting for the push towards objective. And again, it might just allow the remaining offense here to push through and get close, maybe a little too close to the objective. Almost has an angle. Llewellyn goes down up through the middle. Mithril hears the shots and is looking for anything, and Dida is no longer holding through They gap in the wall, so they'll survive a little longer. Smoke here should draw some attention. I have to see how Mithril wants to play this one out. Oh, they're going to end up swinging right into Dida's line of sight, and there's the trade on the corner. K-Fot with 3 left alive. They're going to lock in their defensive round. I'll try and talk right into my mic. Make sure I'm not too quiet. I could turn down the game volume a little bit here. Although I do like to hear those comms. Half of it I can't understand, but nonetheless, I like to hear it. It is all good. Indicators of, you know, an active team, a communicative team. And honestly, at this level, it's what you'd expect. You know, every kill that comes through, it's instantly called out by both sides. And it really is a necessity at this kind of level where things can happen so quickly that you have to really process data in a matter of seconds and then react off of it. One of many elements of the competitive element of Onward that I do enjoy. Let's update the scores here. K-Fot getting a +1 on Notorious' map pick, but again, a defensive start, so we'll see if Notorious can rebuttal with a defensive round win of their own. And again, the winner here advances on to tomorrow in the round robin. Both Saturday and Sunday have that round robin action going on. And so do be sure to tune in to that. That'll be live over at twitch.tv/VRMasterLeague. Not already following, go give it a follow and get ready for the action, just like we getting ready for the action here as we dive back into it for round number 2 on map 1. Our NA Challenger Cup finals underway with a exciting start from K-Fot, and now we'll see again if Notorious can do the same. Go on board Wicca to see if they can get up here and be any more aggressive.
Saw one cross the north. They got the east one.
And an identification here from Wicca on this rotation. Maybe a moment to catch out this kill, but no, Wicca does tuck in. Gets in behind the wall in the corner. K-Fot's position has been identified. Have to see how the rest of this defense converges around this, or if they do at all. General in particular could be running into some action soon inside as Dida comes flying in very quick. Not ready for General in the corner. Able to get that gun up and trade nonetheless. Four v4 now with the south side weakened for Notorious. The Fever looking for anything up on the 3-story, anything on top of the down plane, anything up through the middle. No one really home for Notorious. I want to pop over to Mithril Marauder as they could be running into Seal shortly. We'll stay on board Wicca as they are just a wall away from an opponent at this stage. Oh, and Mithril does catch one on defense. Seal goes down through the hole in the wall. They're going to confirm that shot. Tuck back in, maintain control of this north side. Wicca also looking through the gap in the wall, trying to identify Ease down through the middle. Almost finds the kill. Meanwhile, shots also coming in down onto Ease from the roof. Or no, up through the middle. Soda interestingly taking shots. That's a long range nade. Doesn't quite go the distance. Ease is going to back off, though. K-Fot maybe reassessing how they're going to push with Wicca here. Doing a nice job of holding down the north. And this is the right rotation. They've weakened this south side. It's the right place to go. They want to run into less resistance, because right now Notorious definitely stacked heavy in the north. Oh, and as Wicca
One down.
Peeks
mall.
out. Nora sees them, checks their tablet to make sure it's not a teammate, and then gets
Yes, I
picked
got
off
that
in that
immediately.
effort. Job from Wicca. K Fever now aware of this and looking over,
One center.
trying to see what they see. Wicca actually hears those footsteps and is able to call it out. We are just a grenade away from either one of these players going down. There's the flash up and over. Wicca is not going to apply pressure. Fever just stays tucked into the corner as it dissipates. Does by a couple of seconds, but not much more. Oh, and Wicca sees Fever on the corner. They peek out and they catch the kill. E's just alone on the attack. Notorious looking to put up a defensive score of their own. Pillaging the smoke off their teammate, trying to get a denial of vision here onto Wicca, but Wicca can actually see through the crack in this wall, and then has the opportunity to peek out and catch the elbow of K-Fot. Really nice plays there by Wicca, utilizing that bit of frayed coverage, ultimately finding themselves several kills. If you look on that KD feed. We are all tied up, one apiece. Quite the opening 2 rounds to this series, and if this is what we should expect, I'm going to make sure I stay hydrated. Could go the distance. That meaning, what is it? 21 rounds. Pretty early to be making that prediction, though, but nonetheless, an exciting tie game we have here. We now just wait to see what the next strategy is and where our next objective is going to take us, and it looks like it is going to be smack dab in the middle of the map. Pretty tough to attack. Not exactly easy to defend. You can lose control of an objective like this if you're not careful. Entry points to the back of the room, entry points up from the front by the tank. Smokes can be applied here to really deny vision. And it's hard to get set up in the defensive positions early enough to effectively cover this courtyard. So curious to see what both our teams do on defense. As we get into it, K-Fot will be starting off as we swap sides every round. It will be going on to the defensive end of things to hold down our new objective.
Yeah, 롬.
Early shots coming in over onto the north side, so the catch is Eej. Fever is here. Here's the shots. Eej gets confirmed, so no res available. And I wonder if Fever has any utility to dump up and over the top here. A nice start for Soda. And now they have very good control looking down onto this objective. I'm going to pop over to Seal, who is pushing very close up to this offense here with Llewellyn. Got to keep split because Soda also has heard shots from Fever. Flashbang comes up and over, and it's a good flash. Fever doesn't apply quick pressure off of it. Pop back over to Seal and Llewellyn. Llewellyn doesn't see Seal here. They're tunneling in front of them, and they're not looking out to their left as they iron down their sights here. It's an open kill. now as those shots come in, Llewellyn may consider rotating back and taking a look-see. They'll find an easy shot onto the back of Seal. Now they'll be able to rotate back up to the objective. They were really locked into the OBJ. Have cost them. But instead, a pretty powerful control over the objective for Notorious. KFOT really doesn't have a good opportunity here to properly defend this.
One backside
Smokes to the
of,
front could really disrupt this defense. Fever's the really only one that can swing out. Daida and Nora are deep into the objective space, and so it is risky. South is widely uncovered right now. Maybe an opportunity for our first cap of the day as Wicca catches a shot from on the Fever.
Still one in the back.
Nice angle there. Shifts the rest of our attention to the remaining two who are going to hold this objective down, Daida and Nora.
지하야?
아니 병원 쪽. 총 쐈잖아. 넣을 수도 있어.
Notorious have 5 alive. They have to consider pushing for this cap right now. Go ahead and split our attention on both defenders.
위험한 정도야?
Holding the front and back. Ultimately, a proper defense. Now, though, like I said, things are dicey. There could be a cap coming in right now through that smoke. Daida has to hear these footsteps. Nora is lined up ready and waiting, and there's going to be a trade. Opens up the backside. Daida's alone now. Still, no one pushing in through those smokes to try and cap, and now as the smokes dissipate, the opportunity eventually gone. The head there of Mithril not being picked up. Can't be seen as they're crouched down just low enough. Shots do come in, though, and there's a trade up through the center. Notorious are going to take the lead. Our first Marsoc round. A round nonetheless. And a 2-1 lead here for the current favorites. Again, as we discussed earlier, Notorious much higher in worldwide rank than KFOT. Would certainly put them on the predictions list to be the winner of the entire Challenger Cup here this afternoon, but KFOT is giving it a good battle. An early lead doesn't mean much. We'll see how KFOT fights back. They've certainly been able to take back Marsoc rounds. Seen it done on Suburbia. The question is, will they be able to do it here on this objective on Quarantine? Looks like we are just waiting for a timeout. Looks like the Weller is back in. So no sub or anything. And we should be good to get back into the action for round number 4. Appreciate everyone's patience as we sort out, these brief tech pauses here and there, but they happen from time to time in each game, and we soldier on through. Looking at the KDs here. We take a quick look before the round begins. Find a dark background for you. Outline those score lines. 3-3 for Dida, 3-2 for Ij. Mithril at 3-2, but Wicca really standing out for Notorious again here. 5-2 so far. Into the action we go, though, as round number 4 kicks off. Again, Notorious on defense. Now we may see a similar battle up in the north as some pre-fire comes in, likely trying to shut down the south rotation on defense. Going to stay on board Soda, as taking control of this rooftop position is pretty vital to a defense on this objective. It's why it was fought for on the side of KFOT, and now Soda is set up very early here to contest anyone from this KFOT side, but there's a lot of angles to watch. They have to watch for Dida's on the short corner as Dida peeks out. Soda ducks down just in time. Tied in the shoulder, looks like they didn't have to heal as Nora battles it out in the south. They'll find Wicca trying to defend in that south side. They certainly saw them rotate. And now Soda's catching a lot of heat here. Across the street, and they're going to get picked off. Nora finds the kill on the rooftop. KFOT are looking good on their Marsoc rebound. Notorious trying to get into powerful defensive positions ends up costing them. Big rotations in the south and north, and now they're down to just 3. Looks a lot like what we saw just a round ago, but in reverse here. And I gotta wonder if KFOT are going to try their hand at trying to go for this cap here, because that opportunity is very viable right now. With proper smokes and utility, I don't think that option's out of the question. KFOT is capable of playing pretty quick. Their pace varied. And I wonder if they're going to adapt it here and push up to this objective. Dida catches Marauder. There's only 2 left for Notorious. No reason not to try and cap. Llewellyn off objective. Higgins not even up top on it. Llewellyn may be able to find some kills here, but the smokes are coming in. And Llewellyn is rotating back. They're not going to see Seal. They try and catch one on the roof. Llewellyn does get General down, and or Seal down, and is able to tuck back in, but it's only 1. A drop in the bucket. KFOT can send player after player at this objective, and you're seeing Llewellyn invest in flashes, utility, really trying to push up to the OBJ. KFOT will take the round. They're going to tie it up. They say, hey, a kill's a kill and a round's a round, especially a Marsoc one to bring us back in to our Volk advantage. But what a powerful Marsoc round. Notorious, both teams really just having a tough time defending this objective. All tied up on map number 1. Certainly a good start to the action here. And again, an exciting, I mean, where do we go from here? Map 2, I think, is looking to be, in my opinion, Suburbia. I don't see KFOT not going there. Quarantine is certainly close here, but they played Suburbia so well up against Hell on Wheels. Unless we look at the stats, and Notorious have a weak point. Press strength on Suburbia. Ooh, yeah. It is a risk. It is a big risk. So maybe we won't see Suburbia from KFOT. Oh, Subway's on the table. That maybe is more likely. Subway, though, their second best map. I mean, well, second most played, not best necessarily. Quarantine is their best map with their highest win rate, so it makes sense that they picked into it to start things off here. Looking at KFOT's side, though, they are also no slouches on Quarantine, 6-3. Not as good as this 88% win rate from Notorious. We'll have to see if that ends up changing as we get back into it. Round number 5 of map number 1 here in this Challenger Cup NA Finals. The winner here, again, goes into the round robin, which starts this weekend. Do not want to miss that action. Several weekends of Onward postseason coming up here. Giveaways live at twitch.tv/VRMasterLeague. Don't want to miss out on it, just like we don't want to miss out on what could be this quick action here. Mythful Marauder already on top of what is 3 defenders from KFOT. Pushing up here. Utility coming in. Marauder is able to avoid the flash, I think so. No, they're not. Seal catches them out with a beautiful play. A flash up and a rotation to kill them. Really nice 1-2 punch. Almost ends in a team kill between the two. KFOT, Seal, and Dida end up shooting each other in the chaos. All heard and observed by the Notorious offense. Soda looking down in through here. General on the outside. Wicco rotating wide. Maybe going to look for Ease or anyone here on the edge, but... Ooh, might find Dida on a rotation. Ease should hear this and will likely be calling it out. Safe and sound, tucked into the top floor corner. That'll distract, and then Dida will be able to find the kill. Wicca has to be cautious and on point not to be distracted by those comms. Dida's there, and that's a big pickup. Dida goes down. Ease does not have the support on the floor corner. They do still have Seal who can rotate around, but it's a big pickup from Wicca.
Roger.
Ooh, a trade here. No, not a trade. Seal goes down. General has cleared out the bottom floor.
I think there's another one.
An interesting heavy investment from KFOT into this building on this objective. It's not really necessary to have control here, but obviously it's a powerful position. Eyesight down into the objective space. It's why Ease is tucked in on this top floor and waiting for anyone to eventually advance up to this 2-story. No stranger to this position, though. Wicca is looking into this tucked-in corner. Wouldn't be surprised if we even saw a utility piece come flying in here into this tight corner. Soda finds Fever. KFOT are quickly losing players here as Wicca finds another. Ease goes down. Now it is all up to Nora, and Notorious are putting together a great Marsoc attack here. 1v4. Notorious does have a solid defensive position here, but a good smoke could certainly deny them the vision they need onto this objective. And yeah, they are going to have to push out into the open. Flashes come in through the smokes, which we can't quite see in first person, but they are there to deny the vision. And this is why Nora's here, but they're actually going to pick up a kill off of that. They're also going to rotate up to the rooftop and try and find another. They can't quite scoop it up, but they are defending this objective. Soda was going to be the one to finish that last stand. And Notorious are going to take another Marsoc round. Quick pace. Well, I guess not that quick, actually. Interesting. Just a slow start to that round. Maybe, obviously, rotating all the way to the north, getting into that position on the west, and then pushing in takes time. But Wicca continues to pile on to the scoreline, 7-4. Impressive to see. Especially, again, under pressure like this. This is the finals. This determines if you advance in to that postseason, if your entire season of battling was worth it. You know, climbing that ladder, getting the seeding, getting into this position here where you can be in the finals for the Challenger Cup. It's a long road, and KFOT are certainly battling really well for the underdogs that they arguably are in this scenario. I mean, really battling round for round. I expect a pretty good Marsoc push from KFOT here coming up. They've been very coordinated in their efforts, in sync, finding good picks, good plays coming in from them, and I don't anticipate that to be changing here. It didn't change in Suburbia. It hasn't changed on Quarantine. And again, they are a team that's able to battle back from a Marsoc loss. Some teams really suffer when they end up losing a Marsoc round in a position like this, and they cannot manage to get back into it. But even though Notorious are looking at map point on defense, it certainly seems that they have the advantage, but I am not counting KFOD out just yet, as we do get back into it. Round number 6, Notorious versus KFOD. Able to cross for free to the south for KFOT. Oh, and almost an angle onto the first kill here as Daida rotates into the south. Wicca nearly getting identified there, but not quite. Definitely a hard to execute offensive strategy here coming in from KFOT. Oh, the pressure is on. They are going for a big full spread, and Nora actually catches Llewellyn out, trying to rotate what seems to be up onto the plane wing. Where are they looking now?
비행기 있는데 아직 못 잡았어요.
Look back at this map, you see them super spread out. One in the south, one middle, one mid-north, one far north. Revive does come in. And the reason I say it's hard to execute on is because it really does require a lot of coordination. Number one, to not team kill your own team. You have to understand exactly where your teammates are moving. Because right now, Daida just did actually shoot at their teammate. I don't just make this stuff up, okay? I have some merit in my analysis on these strategies. Almost a team kill right there from Daida, but it doesn't connect, thankfully. Likely the comp's coming in. Stop shooting at me! From their teammate. And they redirect their focus to the other side of that building. But like I said, this kind of strategy really requires you to be aware of exactly where all of your team is. You can't at one point be unaware and take shots. Could cost your teammate their life. Daida almost does it, but they will survive a bit longer. 3.5 minutes, right around when we typically see KFOT pushing into an objective, but they are nowhere near this OBJ yet. They have a good distance to travel before this. At least the entire team is here. Ige and Seal are certainly close on the west. We're seeing these players start to converge into a 2-3. Likely eventually working their way up through the center and the south in a 2-2-1. Weller hearing footsteps, calls it out, not afraid to give away their position on comms. But here's Seal and Ige just around the corner. That's going to give information and at least identify one over here on the west side. And you see lasers are dialed in, very much ready for any kind of advancement. Both Mithril and Soda waiting here. And Ige looking for any kind of info they can before they advance into a challenging push forward. Almost another team kill. Ige, I think those were shots over towards Daida, but I don't think they can see Daida. Either way, in their direction. Seal could be running into Llewellyn any moment here. Well, considering crashing in, Ige looking for anything. They're going to drop down and they're going to find a trade with Llewellyn. That opens up the route for Seal. take control of the top floor. It puts Marauder in a bit of an awkward position on the bottom floor in the corner. Patience is likely the best route to go. Stay in that dark corner, wait for Seal. Try and likely push down through this space towards the objective. Either that or, Seal's going to go. No, Seal's really rotating around, clearing out this space, it seems. Wicca
-1 south.
prevents Dida from rotating south, so now it's a 1-2.
44,
2 up through the middle, 1 in from that west side. Still good holds overall from the Notorious side of things. Soda is going to scoop up another kill over the top. Nora tries their hand at a smoke. A nade comes in. Is it a nade? Yes, it is, but it doesn't catch Nora out. They'll survive a bit longer. Got a potential attacker behind them, which is certainly dangerous, and I think they hear that. We're going to rotate around, identifying those footsteps from Mythical Marauder. They have another teammate up through the center right now, but Nora likely to run into action first as Marauder finds that kill, and now Fever up through the center, thinking about how they want to approach this one. Oh, they are able to dodge. Soda going to be looking for the action. It's going to get picked up by General with great call-outs from the team, and Notorious secure themselves a map number 1. Their map pick, of course, but nonetheless 4-2. And from here, where do we go? I think the general consensus in chat was Subway was the likely candidate when I brought it up, and it is indeed going to be Subway for map number 2. At this stage in your game, you know, at this level, it is pretty hard to find a key or a core weak point for a team. You know, a team like AFOT or Notorious, they do have so much experience in the game that no matter what map you go to, you're in for a tough challenge. And so, you know, we could analyze and assess the win rates of these teams on any map, but when it gets down to pressure on the line, right now, we could be done after this map. We don't play the third map out in the NA Challenger Cup Finals, okay? No need for that, as the winner takes it all. And so Notorious are looking at a series winning map here, if they can take it from KFOT. But again, it is KFOT's map pick, and so if you really do want to lean on that, then you can consider it to be that it's their comfort zone over Notorious's. But like I said, I just don't know that there is really a gap in coverage from either one of these teams on any map that we would go into. To that end, we can expect dang good gameplay on Subway. Very much looking forward to it, and we are going to get... No, false start. Almost right into it. We'll take a quick look at the active rosters. Over on KFOT, we have Nora J, Fever, Dida, Ige, and Seal. The same 5 we saw go up against Hell on Wheels and beat them on Suburbia. And over on Notorious, we have Wicca Wicca, General Chiggins, Mithril Marauder, Captain Soda, and Llewellyn. Some familiar faces from many years of gameplay there with Soda and Llewellyn, but also a team that has been, does have experience across the board through their roster there. And so, going to be interesting to see what we get going in to map number 2. Again, Notorious, the current favorites in the series. But KFOT have really battled nicely. And I want to see what we get on a more close quarters map here, like Subway, as we do get into it. Again, KFOT on the attack, Notorious on the defense, and we're on board Seal as this team pushes underground and prepares for the attack. At the very least, they're in good hearts. Good hearts? No. Good favor? No. Why am I blanking on this word? They're feeling good with a little chuckle there going into the action. Wicca just holding a tight angle. We have a trade over in the north.
We lost one. We lost one.
Not gonna go and identify that as Wick goes right here. Tries to catch Eej on the tight corner instead. Finds Seal wide and ends up trading 1 for 1. Is able to communicate. Marauder team kills Soda up top. And Fever is gonna find
Another one here.
the confirm. Callouts are there for Marauder, so let's see how they work off of this knowledge. Oh, they're gonna toss a C4. And they are just waiting for this push to come through the basement. It could be easily redirected. Fever and Seal could push back over to Daida's position. But ultimately, the coverage matters here in the basement. The objective is here in the basement. And Marauder, in general, will recognize ultimately what they must defend. Looks like a botch nade there. They're trying to push that through to clear the other side of these boxes. Now they're going to push with a little uncertainty. Another nade comes out to defuse any C4 here on the walls, and it does manage to get that C4. As it does, Daida peeks the tight corner on the other side of the stairs. And Marauder is getting pinched. Nice job from Daida to reinforce this team. Likely called out by the duo inside. And now General is alone in a 1v3 to hold down this OBJ. What are the smoke options? How much utility is left? Fire and smokes. That smoke not going to do much. It's a bit deep. No, the peek there is risky. Seal's still tucked in. General is able to get back into the corner. Now K-Fought know where the final defender of Notorious is, especially if they have an accurate kill count. Oh, and a tight swing there. The shots from Daida would have followed up to find that kill. K-Fought, though, do take the Marsoc round, kicking things off on their map pick the best way they can outside of a cap on that objective, which certainly was on their mind. But good solid defense from Notorious, recognizing they needed to be where they needed to be, and a team kill definitely doesn't help them. It's on the line and the pressure is mounting up. It makes sense that it happens, but I mean, we've seen near team kills from K-Fought as well, so both of these teams are on edge, dialed in, very focused, trying to pick off any sort of oddity they see, but maybe a little bit too, in some cases, too quickly. It ends up costing them. Either way, that was a very nice job from K-Fought and really good moves, again, from Daida there to swing out down the stairs when they did and shut down that defense in the corner. It's plays like that that get you wins, you know? K-Fought just think as a team. They're not letting up. They don't sort of give up on the coordination when they're down, and as an opponent for them, Notorious really have to be aware of this and wary of it at all times, never letting up against this K-Fought squad. And it's hard to do for all three maps, so we'll have to see if Notorious can climb back into things here on their attack for round number 2. On board Soda, who is advancing quickly to the basement, is dropping back though and hasn't found much resistance yet. K-Fought really padding the upper floor, interestingly. Sure, there's utility placed somewhere here. Has detonator in hand and is waiting. But otherwise, not necessarily a strong basement defense. Daida can swing down. Nora is up top, so is Beaver, seals on the stairs. They can swing down. Has its risks. Also rewards. Could find one or two up top, just like that. General goes down.
-1.
Well, there could be next on the chopping block, so to speak. They're just looking at the area where they heard those shots. They won't be able to see Fever. Tucked in, everyone's staying tucked in. Basement push is out the door. Ease has not detonated any utility yet. There it is. It's going to catch at least Soda. Wicca very luckily survives. It was placed here on the floor. Wicca's still here, though. Ease does peek. They catch some shots and be able to heal that damage. Stay alive. For the basement defense, Notorious not having a successful entry here. Well, they're likely to run into Nora, who's taking shots. Can't quite connect there. More shots coming up over the top to Llewellyn as they do finally go down.
-1.
Nora's going to scoop up the ankles. And Mithril is alone in a 1v5 going up against K-Fod on Subway. This is not looking good. Out the gate here. They can't connect on a Dida in the distance, and that's going to be a 2-0 for K-Fod on Subway. Pretty quick round. 3 minutes. Mithril still plagued by their team kill on the KD feed. But a brief disconnect as we sort things out, and Map 2 looking pretty good for Notorious. No way around that. I'm curious how this next objective will impact the K-Fod decision making in terms of offense, because we have seen Stairwell in the south capped. Hard to do, but with right smokes and the elimination of the right defense, can get through and get the opportunity to punch in that code, which would get them 2 points, net them map 2 4-0, get them a lot of momentum going into Notorious' map pick, which they will need because it's likely to be range. I think if we look at Notorious' third maps, I guess I'd say it's likely to be range, but they are very good on Suburbia. Abandoned, not an ideal map for them. 4-2 this. But I don't think they'll want to take it close quarters up against K-Fod. So I don't think Superbia is going to get picked. I imagine the K-Fod's barely played it. They've won it the one time they did. But seems like an opportunity. Potentially. Obviously, the rate's 100%. 50 if you go up. Percentages, yada yada. But a lot of nuance when you get into the postseason. A lot of nuance when you get into the moments where the pressure is really on the line, where your whole season is on the line. Let's see what we get. Going back into it. Round number 3.
Alright, boys, I'm gonna watch that quick aggression.
Next
Mark
time,
it.
Chickens, if you could grab C4 that way.
Yeah, Chickens, you probably shouldn't be holding specialist on this map.
Hey, boys.
Interesting discussions on their utility picks. Going to be looking for the quick spawn, which is going to be present for KFOT, so we are going to want to go on board what I'm assuming is about to be some gunshots. No, it doesn't look like Soda or Mithril are investing in anything too crazy, but Wicca certainly is. Actually going to be able to flash Eej. That's going to prevent Eej from at least pushing them. Wicca can drop all the way back as that nade comes in. Crashing out the gate, but nothing connecting. General Chiggins, what is happening here? An interesting bit of movement from them. Went underground, are going to go up the stairwell and take a defensive position up here in the stairs. Interesting spot to be in. I do think KFOT should check it. He just dialed in. Almost does indeed catch General. An interesting peek there. Maybe the comms didn't come in from Wicca, but there was a threat present in the corner, but Eej was waiting for that move. Ends up finding that kill. Now they have the advantage 4-5. Everyone else, though, pretty tucked in around objectives, so a cap, not going to be an easy element for this KFOT team. Oh, a nice C4 catches Nora down. Mithril's going to try and move off of that audio cue. Nade comes in, doesn't quite get pushed down, and Fever catches the kill. Wicca's going to fly. They're going to pick up a double. A valuable trade for Notorious, one they needed to get themselves back into this, because now it is 2v3. So if it could have been a much different scoreline, it could be 2v5, actually, with the res that was going to come through. Dida's taking up the new position, though, now, and is waiting for Wicca to test their luck. And Wicca does look for the shots on Dida, but can't find the kneecaps. Poking and prodding.
Might be trash can.
Communicating everything that they're picking up to Llewellyn, so that if they go down, Llewellyn at least has a baseline of knowledge on where this team. Could get picked off on the side here if they're not careful, if their timing is just a little bit off. And Seal's timing is right in line. As soon as the distraction shots onto objective come in, Seal's pushing up. This is what KFOT have been doing. They're in sync, and they're going to catch Llewellyn out, take another round, go up 3-0. It's just good coordination. That's getting them these rounds, and KFOT are on a roll right now. See the talk of team kills coming in here, as we do see them there. And finally, the negative KD has been expunged. But it hasn't been enough to get Notorious any round wins on Subway. It really has been KFOT dominating this showcase here. And, you know, it's really just a... I guess they were at a disadvantage start. You know, Notorious really have been getting picked early here in this Subway map. You know, they have been committing to some plays like that rotation up through the stairwell. You know, maybe not necessary there. You could have stayed tucked in and really surprised what could have been 3 people trying to push up through Sex Shop. It's just a little bit over-aggressive. That little extra push on Subway that ends up getting their first defensive player dead. And it looks like KFOT's reading into this. You know, if we analyze the KFOT Marsoc style, we look back how they played it on Suburbia, in particular against Hell on Wheels, they really are sitting back on offense initially, waiting to see if there's any aggression from the defense. and then pushing forward. And so we'll have to see if Notorious are recognizing this, figure out a strategy to kind of break through here as we get back into it. We are looking on pace for a map 3 decider, but that has yet to be determined. It could be here in this round. If KFOT can defend, Notorious obviously need to put together quite a few wins to take the whole series. C4 toss in a high elevated position. Hard to quickly identify. But it doesn't seem anyone's really intending to push down through the north lane. If anything, Cape Fever is going to be finding themselves the action soon here. They do see that rotation out. They're going to look for Wicca next, and Wicca actually finds the kill.
1-6 alley.
Triple X every day in Sex Alley. Gets its name. Each communicating gives away their position. Wicca not afraid to call that out. Both players valuing communicating the position of the enemy to their team over their own. Each in particular, if anything, wants to bait out the push. So that can happen. Seals there. They also have the over-the-top support from the C4. A trade on the corner. Puts both dead, and now that C4 undetonatable. Seal, though, is still tucked in, and we're into a 3v3. KFOT 3 kills away from taking this map and pushing us to a decider on map 3. Llewellyn's going to come barreling down, a little overconfident. They're going to get picked off. Seal's going to find that kill. Information for Chickens to work off of, and it's going to be enough for Chickens to even the odds 2-2. Soda able to get past the protective line of Dida there. General not applying pressure on the side. Just a touch out of sync as Nora goes down. Captain able to find that kill. Blind through the smoke. Although it didn't look like that when we went into FPS view, but that was a blind shot through the smoke. Dida's up next on that hit list. All they need is support from General here to come around to the side, and here it is. General is barreling around to the corner. Dida's defending it nicely, though. They're going to catch General down. No support for Captain Soda until Soda comes pushing to the objective, and Dida clutches it with a double kill. Takes round number 4, takes map number 2, and pushes us on to a series decider for map 3. Come on. What a map 2 here. What a change of momentum from what was a solid 4-2 win on Quarantine. Notorious is our favorites. They're doing what we expect. So now, what's happening? 4-0 on Subway for KFOT. Where is a safe pick? Do they go abandoned? Or do they pick into their comfort zone on Suburbia, which is also KFOT's, in which case we get an absolute crazy battle on a map that both of these teams excel on. To wrap this up, wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't hate it, but I do wonder if that's going to end up happening. Comments coming in. Yeah, definitely agreeing at least with some of my analysis in terms of how coordinated this KFOT team has at least seemed here on Subway. I really wonder what we're going to get when we go to our next map. We see the same level of coordination and ultimately a very resilient team that will continue to battle even when they're down 3-2 players, you know. And impressive nonetheless to take that 4-0 again when momentum was in Notorious's favor. So it's a big shutdown. It is a big shutdown onto the favorites in this Challenger Cup final. We're still waiting for that map 3, so these guys are assessing their options very thoroughly. But wow, map 3 decider. I'm a happy camper here. I'm sure you fine folk are as well on this Friday. And holy cow. This is your captain speaking. Everybody fasten your seatbelts. We're in for a turbulent experience. Map 3 has been decided. It is indeed taking us to Suburbia. The best map, if I'm right, for Notorious. The second best map for KFOP. Actually, interesting here. This seems to be the most common picked map against KFOT, because KFOT does not play this one well, despite them beating Hell on Wheels to take that Suburbia win. They historically have a 7-2 win rate on Suburbia. So it makes sense now when I look at the stats that Suburbia is picked here. I thought it was their second best map. It's their second most played. Doesn't necessarily mean that they are the best at it. It does mean that teams have picked it against them consistently enough because they can recognize an opportunity to win. So Notorious may indeed find themselves in an advantage here with their preferred map up against KFOT's arguably worst map. They have won this one the least out of any of the maps in the map pool outside of Abandoned Night. They played once and lost once. So the stats tell a story, but if we're going to look at how KFOT played against Hell on Wheels here, it was clean. It was crisp. They played Suburbia well. They can bring that energy up against Notorious. Could go well for them. On the flip side, Notorious are likely to have watched back that last map. They're likely to have done their research on this team and how they perform on each respective map. And they may indeed identify some strategies from them, like that slow reserve play out the gate, the push around 3-minute time. You know, knowing that information can really give you a big leg up on your opponent. So a lot of data to parse here. If we did want to, you know, if I had an analyst desk, we could go to it. We'd have a whole section on the mentality of map picks and why and where and how, and analyze what we've seen so far. But Suburbia is going to be awesome. We are just waiting for the 5th to connect in from Notorious and taking a quick look if there's any timeouts being called, and nothing officially yet. Curious to see if we get a sub on Notorious' side. Not seeing anything like that from KFOT. And what a battle here in the NA Challenger Cup Finals. For those of you that are just tuning in, it's been 2 great maps. We've got one more to go to decide who is going to advance into the NA Challenger Cup round robin, which starts tomorrow. Time on that. Identify the time. Apologies, I should know this top of my head. Bad comment. What it comes down to. 1 p.m. PST, I believe. The games begin for the NA region. 9 a.m. PST for EU. So Saturday, Sunday, you're going to be filled with good quality Onward gameplay that you do not want to miss out on. In addition to that, we are also going to be giving away HyperX products to our NA audience on both Saturday and Sunday. I do apologize. We'd love to be offering giveaways to the EU side, but HyperX cannot support that currently. So instead, it is going to be an NA-focused giveaway. And so you are going to want to tune in if you are located in North America for that opportunity to get your hands on HyperX hardware like mics, keyboards, headphones, mouse, mice, whatever the plural is. A lot of options there in terms of what we're going to be giving away that you're going to want to get in on for not just your VR gaming needs, but your general computer usage. I've used the HyperX mechanical keyboard since we've been partners with them, and it's been this exact keyboard, and it has weathered many spills, many storms. It is a great device that I really have enjoyed having ever since we started collaboration with the HyperX team. And so the same thing with the HyperX Quadcast S. This thing's lasted me several years, been a great quality product, no problems whatsoever, and an easy recommendation from me. I don't know how I got onto the HyperX tangent. Oh yeah, the giveaways that are going to be happening on Saturday and Sunday for those 1 p.m. PST matchups. You're going to want to tune in if you do want to get yourself some free hardware. Don't miss that. That'll be live over at twitch.tv/VR Master League. That's where all the games are going to be played over the weekend. That means that it will also be live over on Horizon Worlds. Meta Horizon Worlds, which is now where you will find our live broadcast. No longer venues, it is Horizon Worlds. So you'll search that on your app store, and then you can find our broadcast live there. You can watch it inside a VR arena with a bunch of other folks in VR. It's a very cool way to enjoy the VR action. So I would recommend checking it out if you have the Quest or Quest 2 and the opportunity. But also do be sure to tune in on Twitch so you can get involved in those giveaways that'll be happening again Saturday and Sunday starting 1 p.m. PST. That'll be happening every weekend of postseason leading up to the finals. So plenty of opportunities to get involved, but nonetheless, we are ready to get into the action. I've stalled you long enough. Looks like we do have a sub for Notorious. JJ I don't think was in last few games, so correct me if I'm wrong, chat. We'll see how this impacts the Notorious squad as we get into round one on Suburbia. Notorious, the favorites, looking to take their map pick, their favorite map, their number one played map. And out the gate, they find themselves an early advantage. Wicca shutting down Dida, trying to get aggressive through the shrubs. Suppressive fire coming through from Eej on the back line. And the rest of the defense kind of pushed up pretty far forward. Seal in particular seems to be on the hunt early, and it may end up costing them as Soda identifies the barrel. It is one kill, but not two. Wicca fires over the top, and a 1-for-1 trade for KFOD. It puts them still at a disadvantage 3-4. Look at how safe Notorious is playing this. It's their final map to decide if they will advance into that round robin. They want to be sure they don't get too aggressive or lose too many too early. General was watching from the 2-story to make sure there wasn't any crazy plays from KFOT. And for now, they do maintain a 4-3 lead. It's slight is enough to allow them to push forward here. Information here for Fever as they hear these footsteps. Flash? An interesting flash. Ultimately, KFOD are holding positions where Notorious have to commit. They can poke and prod for all the information they want, but if they intend to fight KFOD and the remaining defense, they are going to have to push out and cross or push towards an objective. Eves, as I say that, is exposed out from the angle of Llewellyn, as they do push out to the objective. Fever's there on the tight corner. They'll find one. Do take damage, tuck in, and heal. One more shot will put them down. Ooh, and there's a flash in hand. That's going to come around the corner. General tucks back in. And Fever regains control. K-Pot into a 2v3. Nora taking shots downrange towards what seemed to be Wicca, but Wicca doesn't identify this. Oh, and now Wicca knows. As Nora tries to peek out onto JJ, Wicca's holding a deep angle. It's going to be very dangerous. We also still have this rotation here on the corner between Fever and General. We got to watch both sides. Ooh, Wicca can't quite find it. General does catch Fever on the backside, and now Nora is alone. Notorious are looking to take the round. They can't quite get Nora down, though. Down goes Wicca. They communicate that kill, but they don't recognize they're alone here yet. Oh, and JJ almost peeks out in time to catch the kill. Suppressive fire dumped. They're going to peek all the way out onto JJ, and that's going to be the kill. Notorious do secure round 1 on offense, and almost a perfect start for them on their map pick, outside of a cap, obviously, but a great reversal, a great way to get back into this. Currently, the scoreline is in favor of KFOD overall, 6-5, but Notorious are trying to get themselves a foothold here into their map pick on Suburbia, and that certainly was a good way to do it. We now see how they defend, because KFOD have put together very good Marsoc attacks. I anticipate them to string together a good coordinated effort here. And Notorious have to be careful to not get overconfident off of that 1-0 start. Again, with a team like KFOD. Do not want to let go any advantage you can get. At least from what we've seen today, this team will fight from a disadvantage with relative ease. Granted, they lost 4-2 quarantine, but they were still battling for it, and then they come back 4-0 on Subway. I mean, who knows? Who knows what we're going to get out of this KFOD team? They've won this map once already against Hell on Wheels, but Notorious have a good percentage on this, so. How does the attack look for the first round for them on Suburbia? We will find out as we get back into it.
사사사사. 어?
고지야 어디 갔노 내 선물.
네? 오 진짜 좋다. 오 진짜 일단 잡는 걸로.
네.
그
사사
그런매 밟고 있는 분 가운데 풀파야 돼요.
사사 사사.
Soda is waiting for this peek out, and Daida is going to find a world of hurt. All the suppressive fire in the world doesn't prevent them from setting up early on the corner. Notorious playing this one confidently, that position in particular. Soda then instantly does drop back, though, and it's just the one kill they needed. Meanwhile, JJ up through the center in lane 2 does find a kill. Pulls out some utility. They're going to get completely flashed. They get counter pushes. Fever here in time. They do find the back of JJ. Blind and unprepared for the aggression there. KFOD do at least get 1 for their troubles. Notorious have 4, though, and the advantage now. Well, they just have to tuck in and hold this OBJ. No, you can do that. Ability comes out, 1 smoke in the vicinity of the objective. Nora certainly trying to distract, but I wonder, yes, Llewellyn does see Fever through the shrubs. So it confirms it as well, and now it's just down to Seal and Nora. As Nora flies out, they'll catch the kill. Getting aggressive, General doesn't identify this. Nora's looking for more, but they get shut down. Llewellyn is able to tuck in. Now Seal's alone in their efforts. Notorious are looking to push this up 2-0. 1v3, though, not impossible. Smoke's coming out towards objective. Seal alone still in their efforts here. Trying to work themselves up through this 1v3, not finding much of an entry point. South might be their best choice. Oh, and a Wicca is identified. Shots do come in. And nothing to follow up, so Seal is able to drop back. They recognize once they took those shots, they had to dump their entire mag, otherwise Wicca would quickly pop up and find Seal exposed. So it does ultimately cost them a lot of ammo for that one effort around the side, and now with these footsteps, they're likely being heard by Llewellyn. And Llewellyn finds the kill. Nice job finding him through the bushes. Good, solid, patient defense. Notorious are up 2-0. Solid defensive hold. And right now, it is really just momentum into the hands of Notorious. I do wonder how they tend to bounce back on the KFOT side of things. At the very least, they have a defensive round with an objective that they had previously successfully defended up against Hell on Wheels. So there may be an opportunity there to kind of rally off of their past win, which did really just happen a couple maps ago. You know, they had a 20-minute break in between Suburbia and the start of this series, but, you know, it still should have played. It is still, fresh in their minds, I think, as they do come into this map. And so they really kind of have to hone in on what worked for them up against Hell on Wheels, try and maybe replicate that here, because right now Notorious are getting comfortable and they're getting aggressive. I anticipate here on this objective that we may see a heavy smoke application and what should be a relatively quick push onto the objective. It would make sense to try and go for a cap play here. It's not the ideal north objective. You would technically want the one up by the Humvee if you really wanted to go for that fast push. That would be very dangerous for KFOT right now. They're lucky that this is the more tucked in one. It is a bit harder to attack like that, but you can still push down this lane quickly. It's gonna, it depends how the defense sets up. Are they gonna put LMG fire down this lane? Are they gonna be suppressing certain elements and preventing a offense from being able to get set up early? Who knows? We'll see. But right now, Notorious are riding a good solid wave of momentum, 2-0 into this thing, and Oh, they could take the map 3 here, 4-0, a little reversal on scoreline. But we are all even up on the point of scoreline, 6-6 total. And so if there's ever a moment for KFOT to start to get back into things, it is right now, as we are all tied up across the board. Minus, of course, this map 1 scoreline where Notorious do have a good solid lead. Into the action we go, though, for round number 3 on map number 3. And let's see the defensive rollout for KFOT. Are they going to be ready for what could be an aggressive push here? We could also see, ultimately, no push down this lane. A seal, whoa, getting very aggressive with not anticipating that far of a dive through the middle from KFOT. It ends up costing them early. No 1-for-1 trade, and so a 5v4 for Notorious in the first 30 seconds. Definitely what they need if they are going to consider pushing in for the cap. Also seems like a decent amount of utility being invested in ensuring they can push forward here and are clearing out different corners. Nades to clear out C4, flashbangs to flash out any defenders. Ultimately, no commitment outside of that onto the pushing on this side, but curious to see what the overall attack looks like. There are a lot of options how you can approach this objective. One that I think Notorious may be leaning to is to take control of this side. Dida has played this front cement multiple times on this map, and it just seems to be catching everyone off guard. No one is ready for the peekaboo defender who hears the footsteps on the corner and can pop up and find you completely exposed. A good solid spot, and they're just not clearing it. A nade would be good, but that's hard to place. Not easy. Good solid spot there that Dida's been holding, and it does even things up 4-4. How does the rest of Notorious attack this is the question. Fever staying tucked in. Smoke's coming up over the top. General just waiting to see if anyone's going to pop their head up and over their cover. But this KFOT team is very confident in their defensive setup, but also very reserved in terms of, you know, not over-rotating under moments like this, allowing themselves to properly defend and ultimately hold down. What was a rotation there from General? Information there for General, though, as well. Oh, and they actually end up catching General through the shrubs. They may not know that, though, unless they saw that arm fall to the ground. Either way, KFOT gets an advantage here on defense now. 4-3, a quick swing of things. Wicca maybe next in terms of finding a kill if they can catch shoulder blade of Ease, but Ease is staying pretty low to the ground. Shots there from underneath as now Fever is experiencing some of the heat. Dida catches the Weller trying to swing wide. Fever almost goes down. Wicca can't quite connect there. Shots all over the Humvee towards Wicca, though, and ultimately it's now just down to the two of Notorious trying to put their third round on the board, and they do manage to get Fever down on this edge, and it's a big pickup. You can see now Ease is looking up over the top. That might be an opportunity for a kill if Ease isn't careful. Oh, C4 is coming out and over. Detonated late. Doesn't catch Wicca through the wood.
Got one sport for sure.
Also, again, still looking for Ease over the top.
That's my right side.
Okay, making rotation. Going up through lane 2. Could potentially catch Ij out. Could distract Nora. Watch the other side, but Nora is staying pretty disciplined on their angle here. They have backup from Dida in the deep side. I don't think Wicca is going to be looking for that Dida angle way back there. Pretty focused on Nora. Shots come from the deep, and Dida does find the kill. So quickly push up, crash back towards objective. Oh, and they don't know that they got the kill, so there's a lot of rotations coming in here. Big moments where JJ could have found some kills, but they're prone and can't see much. And that opportunity quickly fades as K-Fought now take control again and tuck back in. That red car sees the toes there at the wheel. Be able to find the kneecaps. They realize they're the last one alive. They should also be aware that there's only 45 seconds on the clock. Looking for anything through the shrubs. Has to put the 10 seconds left. Tries to pop up onto Nora. Does get the trade, but Ij was still alive. And maybe they didn't have an accurate kill count, but with 8 seconds left, it's one of our longest rounds played out yet. Does get K-Fought their round win, though, and they are on the board on Suburbia. And like I said, if you're in the shoes of Notorious, you got to be careful with K-Fought. You cannot let up at any point here in this battle. Either way, it may be the sign of a comeback. We'll have to see what K-Fought do now on the attack, how they approach this objective. I think they did win this one with 3 alive against Hell on Wheels to take the map. They also did play it pretty reserved. They really waited out the initial start. And again, it's moments like that where I wonder if Notorious have watched back the most recent map played and are going to use that as information here, because I anticipate K-Fought to probably wait more into that 3-minute point until they do push this objective. Either way, like I said, throughout the course of this series, it has been a great battle back and forth. And K-Fought are really putting in a good, hard-fought effort here to try and push themselves into that NA round robin finals. Again, that happens this weekend over at twitch.tv/VR Master League, so you are going to want to catch that. You do want to catch the round robin stage where the top 7 teams and the qualifier here duke it out for a chance at the prize pool in hardware and cash. It's going to be exciting times. We are ready for our next round, though, and so into the action we go. We'll see how K-Fought approaches this one. We go into round number 4. First minute is quiet, as anticipated. And it is really just K-Fought waiting out this defense, seeing what they're going to do, seeing if Notorious is going to invest in any poking and prodding. Interesting nade that goes a little too far, doesn't catch JJ, and JJ holding that same position we've seen them at. Flash comes up and over, that should blind Jay, but Fever's not pushing. There's the push, but it's not onto this close angle. Utility comes in there. Fever actually rotates into the wrong spot for it. They can't recognize where the flash comes from, and JJ plays it nicely to find the kill. He still has a line from that top floor, but Notorious get themselves an early advantage. We've seen this get squandered, so not to say it's a guaranteed plus here for Notorious, but certainly a good start on the defense. 4 minutes left for KFOT. Oh, did they identify Nora there? I don't think they saw them on the corner. Are able to get across undetected. Steel looking to potentially take up position here. Nora gets into lane 2. That call out comes through and they find a kill. Big shots coming in. They can't connect onto Nora. Ease is going to sweep ping out and find the counter shots. Great teamwork from the KFOT team. Soda finally does get Nora down. Call outs coming in there do get them the information they need to get that pick. And it's a 3 for 3 right now. KFOT looking to push in on this OBJ. A lot of shots coming in from both sides. Wicca certainly making their position known. Soda heavy on the rotations as well, trying to find anyone in lane 2. Llewellyn staying tucked in. A little bit of chaos as that 3-minute mark comes in, and they do tend to push around there, but at least it gets temporarily paused. Nice kill from Seal. Refrag from the Weller onto Ease to even this back up to 2-2. And that flash doesn't go far enough. Not going to catch Seal out. Seal and Dida for now. Just trying to figure out how they want to advance through here. Dida really just kind of rotating in between lanes. Seal analyzing their talent, seeing what they have left in terms of players and potential utility. Both players making sure they know the task ahead of them. And ideally, they're aware of the time, as there's only 2 minutes left. Trying to scrape the toes. Dida doesn't see really anything there. I think those were just guesswork shots. Smoke comes into objective, and the clock continues to tick down. 1:30 left for Seal and Dida to work with. Tries to peek on the Weller. Ends up trading 1 for 1. Seal now into a 1v1. If they find this kill onto Wicca, it's all tied up here on Suburbia. And the shots do come in. Wicca is rotating unnecessarily at that with a minute left. No reason to be pushing over to that objective. Just have to stay tucked in now at this stage with a minute on the clock. You do not need to do anything on defense. You can force Seal to come to you. Force them to push out into big open angles by objective. The odds of any utility left are so minimal. There's no more smokes on the field. They've really used up everything they got to push this. And here it is, an easy kill for Wicca to pop up and find. Steel might find the head of Wicca first, but no, Wicca does pop up and catch the kill to take Notorious up 3-1. It was very close and nearly clutched by KFOT to take this back all even, but instead we head to series point potentially. Nice solid lead here. KFOT doing their best to battle back on Suburbia, but again, when you look at the stats, it really does favor Notorious. And like an 80% win rate to a 27% win rate for KFOT. So not surprising that we are seeing them with a lead here right now, but K-Fought are certainly putting up a hard-fought effort, and again, almost tied it up 2-2 there in that 1v1. I think they saw the head. They could have taken shots through the bush and maybe found the top of their opponent there, but who knows how much ammo they have left. You know, there's so many calculations that go into a play like that with the timer ticking down like that, so I'm not one to judge. I'm just here sitting in my chair comfy, not sweating bullets, also trying to calculate all that data and make the right decision. One for Notorious here, looking like they are just a round away from securing their advancement into the NA Challenger Cup tomorrow. Or excuse me, NA Round Robin tomorrow. They will be the NA Challenger Cup finalists. Just has to take a MARSOC round. There comes in. Field catches JJ. We're into an all-out battle up through the middle as this team is heavily prioritizing defending inside here. And aggression's coming in from Seal. Notorious find 2 on objective. It's a 3v4 as Wicca is battling it out up through the middle. Eventually Dida finds the shots through the wood. Seal's looking for more, but Notorious are down to 3 quickly, as are K-Fought, and in a matter of seconds, Dida almost loses another. They're able to get tucked in just in time. Llewellyn finds Seal, trying to put flashes and utility up over the top, and it's back into the hands of Notorious 3-2. Eej is looking to rotate out onto the edge, almost catches Llewellyn. Llewellyn botches their smoke grenade. And as they try and rotate to the other side, Dida's there and waiting. We're into a 2v2 under the chaos. We gotta drop back to where Soda is, who clicks dry on their gun, trying to kill Eej. Goes back for more, and Eej finds the kill. K-Fought with 2 alive, looking to take this round, keep themselves in this series. They have to weather the storm of General. Three minutes on the clock. We could be in silence here for a bit longer. Nice pick up, puts them potentially at a moment where General could clutch this. There's a big res, though. Eej does get Dida up. And now this position is identified. General kind of has them trapped in the corner. Dida is able to find the shots through the window. And the duo survive another day. They will go into the next round on the attack. for our next objective in the center building there. I don't think a cap's on the table by any means, but the comeback could be mounted here. Anyway, 3-2 here as we do get ever closer to this matchup finding its conclusion, to us determining who our NA Challenger finalists will be. And again, that, I mean, it has become so close on some of these rounds. I'm very surprised to see how well KFOD have battled here. Because again, when we go back and look at the stats, it really is everything is in Notorious's favor here. Whether it's the ranking and them being, you know, almost 20 ranks above KFOD in that worldwide ladder, or it's the fact that their win rate is so much higher than KFOD here. And so I'm just shocked that KFOD is sticking in this here. Let's see how they string together this Marsoc round as we get into round number 6. And yeah, all day KFOD have stayed coordinated. You know, they've battled against hard rounds. They've lost Quarantine 4-2, so a loss here isn't out of the picture. But they certainly are a team that is fighting for this, and Seal actually catches the Weller. Wicca can't find the shots over the top. They do toss a nade over in Seal's direction. That doesn't quite hit. Daida's here on the interesting. I wonder why Wicca checked their tablet there before they shot. There's no way they could have a defender up by that spot. Seal catches the kill. KFOD have a 5v3 advantage. At the very least, JJ and Soda are inside objective room, but it is a weak on-objective defense. They have a defender across the playground. General has to get back here. It's a massive weak point. If Seal just flies up, finds a double, it's a cap, and that's it. That's the whole series. Yes, it did just get a kill, so I'm sure I'm getting yelled at too in chat saying, it works, but it is so risky to be here right now with only 2 alive on objective. So risky. Can they find another? Can they find K-Fever? They can trade, at least. Puts them into a 2v3. Things aren't as dire anymore. JJ and Soda on objective. Cap is incredibly unlikely to happen here. And so, the worst case, it's going to be 3-3. KFOD do still have to make their entry into this objective, though. This is the ultimate angle. Soda doesn't have to peek this. But it is a little... I don't know. If they could find one early, that would be nice. Wonder what utilities left for KFOD. By JJ. Standing up is really dangerous because there's a position like Nora here who can rotate over to the opposite side and have shots from the 2-story. Daida comes flying up. They do go down. Now if Eads can find this trade, it'll be the round for KFOD. And Notorious finds themselves tied. The underdog is staring down the barrel of an opportunity at the NA round robin. completely tied 3-3. Both teams are giving it their all here, and it's exactly what we tune in for and exactly what I am here for to cast. This is a very impressive NA Challenger Cup Finals. I'm happy that we have so many folks tuning in and enjoying the action here this afternoon. And while I do have you all, another reminder that we have more of this starting early tomorrow, 9 a.m. PST for the EU round robin, 1 p.m. PST for the NA round robin to begin, and that's going to be over the course of both Saturday and Sunday. So you do not want to miss what is going to be a weekend filled with high-quality Onward action. I'm certainly excited about it, if this is any indicator, because this NA Challenger Cup Finals has been just a textbook quality Friday night Onward matchup to tune into. 4-2 on map 1, 4-0 on map 2. We're tied up 3-3 here. Oddly enough, Notorious could win. If they did, Notorious could win and lose in overall rounds 1 at the end of this Challenger Cup final. That's how close this battle could potentially end up being. K5 could otherwise take the series here, take the overall score line, get themselves a nice, confident advancement into that round robin. And so, what do we have happen? I think... Oh, wow, I just realized our last objective. It is Playground. K-Fought have to defend Playground to wrap up the NA Challenger Cup. Wow. I knew Suburbia was going to be crazy. I knew it was going to be a good back and forth, especially, again, keeping in mind how well K-Fought played Hell on Wheels here. But the stats told me a different story, and ultimately I got a combination. We got a good Notorious, we got a good K-Fought, and I think they have quite a big task ahead of them here. This is not an easy objective to defend, although sometimes it is. It really kind of depends how that rollout works for you as a team. Does Notorious go for some kind of aggressive rollout? Where do they spawn? That determines a whole lot in an objective like this. This is going to be wild to wrap this up. It looks like we are waiting on a reconnect on the Notorious side. I was wondering what the holdup was for us to dive into the action. You have to look at my mug for a few more moments. I can only drum up the final round so much, but yes, it is going to be incredibly hype. It is incredibly hype. I mean, come on. What an awesome way to get to this NA Challenger Cup final point. At the replays there as well on how coordinated Notorious are on their efforts, very clearly communicating what they see, because you can just see everyone snap to certain angles when an opponent's identified, and that's a real, this K-Fought team is locked in. They're coming here competing hard. They are focused, they're putting up good, solid battles, and man, this is quite a crazy time to have this pause and reconnect. Take it. I wonder, there's no way they bring a sub in at this point. Don't think that's on the table. Taking a look now. Not getting any word on any official timeouts. So yeah, not sure what the end decision will be here, but there are rules around how much time you can take between rounds. You do have several timeouts. But if you can't get a player in within that time frame, then the team can start the round. That would be a pretty awful way to have to play your final round out because you have technical difficulties on one of your players' sides, or they didn't charge their headset enough, which is a excuse that I frankly don't even think is viable anymore going in VR esports. If you don't charge your headset and you run out of battery in the middle of a tournament, sorry about it. You didn't plan well. Either way, we'll see what we get here for their 5th, because I imagine we are going to wait out until we get that 5th. Which means that you, again, just have to wait for me to kill time in the most intense moments of a final series. I could have been not informed, and we could be in an actual timeout. Oh, again, I'm trying to get that info. We'll see, though. Pretty long tech pause, nonetheless. For a 5th to connect here. While we have this downtime, we can do a quick shout out of our sponsors. You've seen them ticking across your screen here. They do include ProTube VR, which offers fantastic stocks that help stabilize your aim in game. They also enhance your immersion. If you do want to get the force feedback stocks, they have great force feedback pistol stocks as well. A really good variety of options to really enhance your experience in VR shooters. Would recommend you check them out. I believe I'm thinking of Asterion, which is our next sponsor. We do have a discount code for Asterion. If you do want to go and check out their products, they offer great RGB mounts. You've seen their ads run in our pre-show. They also have mats that can help you play and identify your play space a lot easier. I recommend you check those out. You can head on over to AsterionProducts.com, and if you use the code VRML5 off Asterion, you can get $5 off any purchase over $20. Technically $19.98, but any purchase over $19.98, you can get $5 off. So technically that's a 25% discount. You end up picking up a $20 item from that store using that code. Again, that's VRML5, the number 5, off Asterion. And so do please use that code if you do want to go and check out their products. Again, you do get a pretty decent discount, and they have I really do enjoy their mounts. In particular, I have mine right now with the red RGB, but it really does kind of pull the table together. So I recommend checking them out. Very good products. But we do have a 5th back in, so get through the rest of our sponsors, which are VR Cover. They offer great and comfort-enhancing products for any of your VR devices. And we also have VRML, obviously, contributing into that prize pool, because we do love to be a part of VR esports and help contribute to it growing. Ultimately, that means that there's a lot of hardware and cash on the line for both of these, for either one of these teams that can come out on top. And I'm very much interested in seeing what we get for our final round. I think we must have had a timeout called, and Notorious just didn't tell me, which is really cool. I ended up buying 15 minutes of time. We could have gone to a quick break, but nonetheless, you all got to stay here, dripping in anticipation, waiting to get into this first round, watching me surf the roofs of suburbia. As we finally, here it is. Round number 7 of map number 3, the final round of the NA Challenger Cup The winner here advances on to the round robin group stage for an opportunity at that prize pool we just talked about. We'll see how this round goes. It's an interesting spawn for Notorious. Out the gate, do we see action? Out the gate, do we see gunfire? Any early kills? Any early pushes? There is an early kill. Wicca finds Dida right away. No one is able to push over to that opposite side there. And everyone from KFOT ends up tucking in. Interestingly, oh, what an airburst nade from Wicca. Big kills from this Notorious team. They find themselves big advantages. A 5v2 as Eej tries to react and ends up going down, and Fever alone in their efforts. Alone in a 1v5 has to pull up a clutch of a lifetime. Identified now. Uses their heal. Has to now pillage the syringe from Nora to get them rezzed. Will be able to do that in time. Yes, Nora's up, so a 2v5. The best it can get. Swings out Llewellyn in the two-story. Picks off one. Nora alone. Has to hold this down, and Notorious with 5 alive on the attack for our final round. Secure themselves the map win, the series win, and the advancement into our NA round robin. That starts again tomorrow at 1 p.m. PST. What a series to tune into here. What a way to finish it. Appreciate everyone that stuck by and hung out and waited for this final round. This is just a preview. Again, be sure to tune in tomorrow at twitch.tv/VRMasterLeague, 9 a.m. PST for the EU Challenger, EU round robin, 1 p.m. PST for the NA round robin with giveaways for anyone in the U.S. Hardware from HyperX, so you do want to be sure to tune in and get your hands on that free hardware, those free products that we will be giving away live on stream. So again, check out twitch.tv/VRMasterLeague tomorrow, and do not miss what is going to be a action-packed postseason. It's really just the start as we are now getting into it, and so I'm looking forward to the next couple of weekends. It's going to be it for me, though. I got to save my voice for tomorrow. Appreciate everyone tuning in. My name's been NightFiree with 2 E's. Until tomorrow at 9 a.m. PST, stay classy.